Hello and welcome to Kubby TV. This is Steve Kubby, your host, and I've been playing hooky for 2 weeks in case you haven't noticed, but I have a good excuse. I've been negotiating a deal with a new company called Cannabis Sativa, and the deal calls for me to receive $1 million in stock in return for the rights to my patent pending marijuana strain CTA. Now, before anyone gets excited, let me just tell you a few things. It's being paid in stock. I have to hold the stock for a while, 6 months. It's a publicly reporting company. And then, maybe I'll have some money to play with. But the important thing is that I want you to understand where I'm coming from on this plant patent thing. I've already had some people comment to me, well, are you going to become the new Monsanto, or are you going to patent everything? Absolutely not. I couldn't if I wanted to, because the way the patent laws are set up, anything that's already in the public domain, anything that's being sold, used already as a plant strain, it cannot be patented. So the only thing that can be patented is original work on an original strain that has unique original properties, and that's what this strain CTA has. And now I have worked 10 years on this strain. I realize many people might fund that research by selling cannabis, but I'm a well-known activist, and I would be compromising everything I stand for if I was to get in trouble with the law, if I was to do anything to call to question my ethics or morals. So I don't have the option of selling cannabis as a patient to dispensaries, even though I could legally do that. It would probably discredit me. So I put together a group of investors. I pitched them and gave them samples of the early CTA strains, and they were blown away. I mean, this is a strain, first of all, that is ceilingless. The more you smoke, the higher you get, and you can smoke it all the way up to psychedelic levels. Secondly, this is like anti-marijuana. It gets you extremely motivated. It causes you to lose weight. It is been described as the equivalent of 5 cups of coffee. Typically, when people use CTA, they report that they did their taxes, they cleaned their house, they just had this frenzy of creativity and work, and all the time they're feeling relaxed and clear. This isn't a speed kind of experience. If anything, it is a relaxing, clarifying, stimulating, motivating high that's unique, truly unique. And it was based on the uniqueness and motivational and medical qualities of this particular strain that I have been developing over a 10-year period, that I was able to get investors. And we applied for a patent on April 30th, 2010. Now, I know a number of people that have applied for patents. They've all been rejected. Ours has not. We're still in an approval mode, and we have a couple of minor details, I think, to straighten out, and then we expect to be issued the world's first patent. Our patent does not infringe on anyone else. It doesn't limit in any way any other access to cannabis. But and if you're a private person and you happen to fall into possession of our CTA strain, I don't have a problem with that. I'll probably be donating some of the CTA strains to dispensaries and patients. But if you plan on using our strain to make money, then we have a patent, and you have to pay us for the 10 years of research that went into that. So are we going to be patenting other strains? Maybe a tiny handful of strains that, again, are unique and don't have any representation in the public domain. But this really is not a threat to anyone. Monsanto cannot turn around and use our research, our patent to patent anything else. They can patent their own stuff, but the fear that patenting our strain is going to unleash a flood of patents and lock up all of our valuable strains just doesn't fit reality. There's just not anything in patent law that would allow that. So I really want people to understand what we have done to fund 10 years of research to develop a motivational medical strain with unique properties is not a threat to anyone. And it is, if anything, a model that other cannabis researchers can follow to fund their research so that we can develop new and powerful medical strains that don't exist today. And that is what I've been doing. And if you look here, you can see the Wall Street Journal and other financial institutions ran an announcement that was made by the new company Cannabis Sativa that is going to pay my company, Kush, and my investors $1 million in stock. Actually, this is the great thing about CBDS. Their stock just continues to take off and soar. They're doing it right. I mean, I've been in this penny stock business for a while, and I've spoken out very harshly about most of the other things that are going on in this industry. But when CBDS came to me and showed me who was on the board and what they have put together, I was floored. I was really impressed, and I was happy to become a member of CBDS. Now, let's talk a little bit about what I've learned from the research that we did for CTA. And first of all, I learned that we're paying way too much attention to THC content and CBD content. The content that I have been focused on is terpenoids. You know, I remember many years ago, Eddie Lepp told me that when he evaluates marijuana, he does it by smelling it, not by smoking it. And what that told me is that Eddie is keying in on the terpenoids as the major determinant of a quality of a given sample of cannabis. And of course he was right. We now know that the terpenoids are what determine whether or not a particular strain is going to have indica or sativa qualities, characteristics. This has been a huge discovery. You don't read about it, you don't see the mainstream media reporting on it, but amongst breeders and people in our industry, this is the holy grail. This is an absolutely huge discovery on the level of CBD, discovering CBD, discovering CB1, CB2 receptors, the discovery that it's the terpenoids that determine whether or not you're going to have the soaring high of a sativa or the relaxing, healing high from an indica. That's all determined by the terpenoids. And so what I did in my research is I went outside of the standard North American, European strains, and I went into South America to find terpenoid-rich strains that had terpenoids in them that have been lost in the process of this race to create what I call biker weed. You know, cheap weed that finishes quickly, that gives people a quick high and then lets them down so that they come back for more. That's not what the medical research on cannabis is about. And this effort to develop a cheap high has meant that a lot of important terpenoids have been lost. And so what I did was go back to landrace genetics in South America, bring in these lost terpenoids and create something that just doesn't exist today. And that is my new strain, CTA, a strain that, well, the Wall Street Journal says I got paid $1 million for it, but the money goes to my company, first of all. But secondly, it wasn't $1 million, because a day later, the stock took off, and it's now trading at $2.65, which means that our 800,000 shares are worth $2.2 million. And I think that's a pretty good return for our investors, and they're going to be very happy when it comes time to disperse the funds that are pouring into our company right now. So I hope that puts a little light on what we're doing. We really are the good guys. We really are focused on developing new medical strains that can help save lives. And if we get compensated along the way, well, I like to believe that that will only inspire others to follow in our footsteps and create other medical strains out of this absolutely miraculous herb. This has been Steve Kubby for Kubby TV, Pot TV, and CannabisCulture.com, wishing you a great 420 day.
So heavy where I stand.